It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in and welcome back to The Local Show. It's the 2022 Early Winter Edition, and I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. On The Local Show, we have conversations about local businesses with business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, civic organizations, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. Now, we talk about how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You'll hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. And we say a happy, hearty, healthy, good weekend to Steve Roberts. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Tom. You know, people are going to think they're listening to an old show. That's
when you
say early winter, like, wow, those guys didn't do a show this week. No, we did a show this week. But Tom, of course, has to.
I say that for a fact. It is the fall edition.
You know how much it bugs me.
It's the fall edition.
I'm not a fan of winter at all.
Hey, midweek I had to scrape the frost off the windows, and there's frost on the pumpkins. Yeah. That's it.
Park in the garage.
Right. I can't. I got all my DJ equipment in my way.
That's why I said it. I knew that was true.
I still have to clean up the garage. And, you know, I'm telling you, the garden's coming down.
Yeah.
The garden's got to come down.
Did you put the pool away for the year?
Yeah, no, I don't have a pool.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't have a pool. Do you want a pool?
All of the other, yes, I would love one.
Okay,
but,
just checking.
You know, I'd rather do that than go on these vacations that are so stressful.
You know what? I know they're stressful for you.
Yes.
But think about what you accomplished. There was a big deal, and it was a real
for
gift.
me. Oh yeah,
and it was
flying.
Honestly, a gift to your family. Seriously.
Sure. Well, I don't know about that.
Well, you didn't want to do it, and you did it anyway.
I did.
So
yes.
You know, that's a win.
Oh golly, yeah. Well, I got to figure out what I'm going to do for my wedding anniversary because it's the big 3-0 this year.
When's that?
That's in May. And Kelly's already talking, can we go somewhere? And I said, so you want me to have anxiety from now until we have to go somewhere?
Does she sound like that?
Yes.
Okay.
To an extent. Well, her voice is a couple octaves higher than mine. Stick around, folks. We have a lot of great talkers on this particular show. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk with Dr. Nicole Anzalone coming up. She's the owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. Scott Henry stops by, the president and race director of the Liverpool Turkey Trot. Rob Kassler is the owner of Charney's Menswear and Tuxedos. John Kupperman, owner of Smith's Housewares and Restaurant Supply. Stan Shane of Syracuse Dog Fence. And then Rob Murphy. He's the store manager at Installations Unlimited. And then we'll finish up with Robert Doherty, who is the owner and operator of Mr. Chimney Man. All on The Local Show today, so stick around. Now we say a hearty, healthy good morning to Dr. Nicole Anzalone. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good, then I can hear you. It's all about the ears here. You can see a lot on your website, too, SyracuseHearingSolutions.com. SyracuseHearingSolutions.com. That is just a wonderful site with a lot of information. I know you put a lot of effort into that in educating people.
That was professionally built, that site.
Well, of course. Yeah. We did our part.
Great
but
job.
You can't make something out of nothing.
Right,
and there's a lot there. Questions, answers, people talking about the team at Syracuse Hearing, and you get a lot of buzz from that. People go there a lot, don't they?
Yeah. So people look at our content because we have a lot of education about hearing loss, tinnitus, balance. We're even adding more. Mm-hmm. So we want to be able to let people know and educate them a little bit more about their hearing, because a lot is unknown. There's a lot of confusion out there, even about hearing aids.
Right.
So the more people know, the better.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, you got a nice team over there as well. And Nicole, why don't you let people know what your background is? You can kind of do a brief summary of how you got to Syracuse and what your educational background is and what your team is all about, too.
Sure. So I'm originally from New York City. I went to Syracuse University and I stuck around. And, I was always interested in the sciences and music, actually. And I got a master's in neuroscience and a doctorate in audiology. I was very interested in hearing and all of the sensory systems, but hearing in particular. And that's how I got the ball rolling. And then I opened a practice in 2010, and here I am.
Yeah, very nice. Okay. So it's almost like you're a Syracuse supporter. Because you came in
and she doesn't sound New York. She's like, I was in New York. I grew up in New York, and then I went to Syracuse. You don't sound like that at all.
I could bring on the accent if I want to. All right.
So 2 glasses of wine in a long day, and suddenly we're on we're riding a train.
Absolutely. So what exactly? Let's let people know what exactly an audiologist does. The difference between that and someone who might say, "Well, here's a pair of hearing aids."
So an audiologist specializes in diagnosing hearing and balance disorders, so anything related to the ear. So the ear is our domain. So basically, we could do hearing loss prevention strategies. We have diagnostic hearing testing to find out not only if you have a hearing loss to fit hearing aids, but what part of the ear it's coming from. It's all part of your body, all part of your well-being, and it's very important. Also, balance is part of your ears that control your balance. So it's very important that if you're dizzy, that gets looked at too, and that gets missed a lot.
Tom, I just heard something this last week that was like 40% or almost 50% of people that buy these hearing aids they hear on TV or on the radio, they don't like them.
Right.
They don't work.
They send it back.
Because they don't have somebody dialing it in.
Right. Yeah.
It's like someone buying Illustrator or Photoshop and art and saying, "Hey, I bought the program. How come I'm not creative?" Well, there's a gap there. Right. And you guys fill that gap, right?
Right. So hearing aids are kind of like a tool. They start out as blank slate. So the OTCs are kind of programmed as amplifiers. So basically you can make things louder or softer overall. Sometimes that makes noise louder too. They didn't specify with the FDA about distortion. So electronics and microphones and everything can have distortion. So the quality probably isn't as good. The noise reduction isn't as good as some other hearing aids that may be more expensive. Also, they should be set to your hearing loss. So it's very important to prescribe it so that certain sounds aren't over amplified or under amplified, and that could affect the quality that you're hearing.
How can you help people who might have some cognitive decline and maybe they don't know it or they're starting to feel it? Can you help people with cognitive problems and balance altogether?
So there is a relationship between hearing loss and early cognitive decline. And hearing treatment is one of the most modifiable ways to try to slow down cognitive decline, because hearing loss can affect other modalities of your brain. So basically, you lose the ability to process sound and process speech, and you lose the awareness of things around you. So it changes how your brain works. And it's very important to identify that early so that you could get it treated. So we actually identify early cognitive decline with some tests and screeners that we do. And then we would place the patient in the right hands and talk to their doctor about further testing.
So people can get, I'll call it a hearing test. Remember, Tom, in school?
Well, sure.
Here's the beep, here's the
noises,
beep, all that kind of stuff. So you do I'll call it a standard hearing test. Is that a fair way to do it, or is it more robust than that these days?
It's definitely more robust. So we look at every part of the ear all the way up to how the brain is processing the sound. So it's ear to brain diagnosing, basically.
Okay.
So you have a couple of props in 30 seconds. Can you show us what you brought there?
Sure. So I brought some of the little hearing aids that we work with. A lot of people look at those over-the-counter hearing aids, and they're actually kind of large. So hearing aids are really small. There's a whole stigma associated with hearing loss. Hearing aids can be very small nowadays, and we can make sure that they're comfortable for the patient. We work with the Lyric as the only extended wear hearing aid that fits deep in the ear and stays in the ear for months at a time.
Beautiful.
So it's very easy to use, no hassle. You don't have to do anything.
So if you want to see those on radio, you have to imagine it. But go to the YouTube channel, Zoe Advertising, the local show, and you can watch and see everything we're showing.
Right, and like and follow that page on YouTube. You really got to check that out. Okay, well, thank you so much, Dr. Nicole Anzalone, right there, owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Great, thank you. You too.
Coming up next, we're going to talk with Scott Henry. He's the president and race director of the Liverpool Turkey Trot right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it again. You have found The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM. It's Tom and Steve from Zoe Advertising talking to local business people, local events around town, organizers, and nonprofits and things like that, as well as people who make profit. Does Zoe make any profit?
Well, there were years we were not for profit, but not on purpose. We meet with small businesses. They're like, we're not for profit. Oh, you try not to make? No, we try to make money. We just don't make any. So that's where we help, right, Tom?
Right. We do help there. We dive right in.
And we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can get under the skin.
It lets us survive and lets us do what we do.
So the Parade of Homes is in full swing, and I was up there looking at people who may want to buy those homes and people getting ideas for their own homes, and they want to put new stuff in there. And who can help them with that?
Let me think. Who would that be?
Who would that be,
How
Steve?
about the folks that believed in us on day one, Gettys Federal Savings, when we launched this thing called The Local Show? And they are there. They're still loaning money. People are borrowing off the equity in their home, and they're putting in the pool, Tom.
Yes.
They're putting rubber stone in the basement or the garage. They're doing things to upgrade the quality of their home. And some people decided they were going to buy a house for 3 or 4 years and then move. And they went, you know what? We're not going anywhere. So now they're making that house into a home.
Right.
And the one thing I just came across recently is people that are looking to do business with financial institutions like it when you answer the phone. Dial 1, dial 2, dial 3. Yeah. And they do that over at Gettys. You get a real person. You're not driving a menu. Have you ever been frustrated to the point of yelling at a menu system, Tom?
Well, every day.
Okay. You call someone, you're trying to get something. Let me just talk to someone. They do that at Gettys. So if you want to do that, or maybe you just want to park some money in a CD or a money market because the market's kind of creepy and weird, you can do that over at Gettys. You can talk to a real person. You can hand your money to a real person or borrow from a real person. GettysFederalSavingsandLoan.com, Tom.
There you go. All right, folks. Right now, it's our pleasure to talk with Scott Henry. I think we had Scott on, when was it, last year around this time? It could be.
First time was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was it a while ago? Yeah. Scott Henry is the president and race director of the Liverpool Turkey Trot, liverpoolturkeytrot.com if you want to look up more information and see the website, liverpoolturkeytrot.com. Scott, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. Great way to start with you two crazy guys here. Can't think of a better style.
So Tom, you know what I did earlier this week, Tom?
I don't know. You went out for a run.
No.
A stumble. You went out for a stumble.
He's on a boat.
They don't allow that. I had a turkey dinner. Mom, Nate was here this week, and my mom, 89-year-old, made Thanksgiving dinner, basically. Turkey, stuffing, all those things, and we had a great time, and it made me think about this with the turkey trot coming up. So people can still have Thanksgiving dinner and run it off in the morning. How's it work?
Exactly, right? That's the way you do, because we don't want you to miss Thanksgiving dinner. We just want to start your day with us and burn some calories before you feast, right?
Right.
So we start right off at 8:15 with the dog walk. Zoe would fit in really well with that.
You hear that, Zoe? Yeah, she wants out. Right. She's trying to make a break for it.
She's sporting that buff that we give our dog walk people. Great.
So she wants out. I'm going to let her out.
Go ahead.
There she goes. All right.
Well, 8:15, and then we roll right into a 9 o'clock kids run. We call it the Fast Feet Run. That just is really successful too. So the family then gets the kids going, and then we go to our main event, which is the 5K 5 mile, and that starts right. It's rolling.
All right,
we just get rolling from there.
Well, give us a little history first before we dive right into that. Are you from Syracuse originally, Scott? Or?
Well, I'm originally an Oswego County boy.
Okay, well, that's
to
okay.
Liverpool, and then with a little bit in Buffalo, and then back to Liverpool again.
Do you still have your double wide up there?
Yeah, I knew I was going the way.
Tom, he did say.
I'm just kidding.
He did say Oswego.
Yeah,
Oswego.
I heard Oswego. Now say Fulton for us.
Yeah.
You always know where you come from, and you never leave where you come from.
Go ahead. Pronounce the
right?
word Fulton. What is what?
Oh, it's Fulton, the city with a future.
There's no T. Perfect. Okay, you've passed the test.
Well, now we've offended at least half of our audience.
I'm sorry,
Well,
audience.
I did. Okay. So, what do you do for a living when you're not running?
Well, I work for City BOCES too, and I love the skills trades. I'm a big skill trade. My father was a skills trade guy, and
Really?
our family was. So one other thing we do with this race too is we give skills trade scholarships. Not everyone needs to go to college.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Right? Not everyone needs to go to college.
Well, what kind of
to
a
make
skill
money.
trade? Tell me what do you mean?
Welding, manufacturing. It could be cosmetology. It could be coding. It could be heavy
Interesting.
equipment. And we have a great program at City BOCES that certifies kids basically through high school. What a better way to get an education. It's tied to our race. Our presenting sponsor is Cryomech. Cryomech loves that. One of the part of our relationship with them is we tie into a skills trade scholarship.
What do they do? What is Cryomech, right?
Cryomech is
what do they do?
Our presenting sponsor. They're a global company that does really well on cryo coolers, really high end, super cold.
So cryo, like if I wanted to freeze myself for science fiction. Yes, okay. for later on. Gotcha.
They'll find your body later. They'll go, do we want to wake him up? Not him. Let's move on. Not that guy.
Their business is in a great place. It's cold around here. That's right?
Sure. I actually took the BOCES program when I was in high school. I took technical electronics in 11th and 12th grade.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how I got into electronics. Loved it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's how I learned how to build amplifiers and little mixers.
I knew you were into it, but I didn't know that you got the skills from. That's awesome.
Tell a quick story. I built a strobe light, because strobe lights were big back in the 80s, right? Sure. The early 80s. So I used a capacitor, and I did something wrong and shunted too much power to the capacitor, and it blew up like a bomb inside. At school. Yeah, there was paper and pieces everywhere, and everybody was just shocked. We all just stood there for
something I would do.
Wow. So I learned, but I did learn a lot, and it's a great program.
The John Travolta years got to you, so you had to do a strobe light, right?
The disco years, yeah. So now back to the turkey trot.
Yes.
So this, what led you to develop this turkey trot?
Well, myself, Joe Teleska, Scott Bordeaux, and a guy, Irish Tim Carroll, Brandon Janello, Dan Johnson, Jeff Klein.
Wow, a lot of people.
We have a great group, and Tom Stapleton. We were sitting around, we got done with one event, and we just said, I think we can do better, that people commune around simple things. People commune around food and adult beverages in the morning, right?
I'll agree with you there.
So we said we could do better, and next thing you know, the bartender that I was in a pub after everything, she goes, if you do it, I'm in. And next thing you know, Whitewater Pub it was, a sweet owner of that place, Mary Kay Manns, said she was in. We started that day. They said, you probably won't get 75 people. Today we're at 1,400. So
isn't that something?
Whoever said we wouldn't get 75 people today,
I
smile.
Wow. So if people want to run, they want to walk, they want to skip,
they want to take their dog,
they want to take their dog, they register at LiverpoolTurkeyTrot.com.
Pretty simple.
LiverpoolTurkeyTrot.com. And the money goes to some great causes.
Great causes. Right up what you guys believe in too. I did talk about the skills trade scholarships. Also, you got the food bank, right? And they really connect to this community. When I say Liverpool Turkey Trot in name, we're at Central New York's Turkey Trot. Let me stress that, Central New York's Turkey Trot. Because of where the money goes. If you follow our money, the food bank stretches from a wide county. Right?
Oh, sure.
She was on the show.
We just had Lynn High on.
How can you not like her? Her energy is
She's wonderful.
great. Yeah. And she partners with us great, and we stretch from multiple counties. When you walk out of your house, you're going to be connected to one of our charities, which is great. And then you go right in the Clear Path for Veterans.
Oh, right.
We give quite a bit to them too. And then ACR Health, the Q Center, we give to them. David's Rescue.
What do you do with people like Tom that can barely walk up the stairs? How do they get involved?
Well, how do they get involved? He's going to come down and have a beer or a coffee with us and Dunkin' Donuts, and then maybe he'll register for the dog walk. There we go. If he walks his dog, he could borrow a dog. We'll rent you.
No, he's got a dog. He'll have to drag it. He'll put it in a wagon because his dog's so lazy. But
Yes, I'd like to do a wagon run.
That dog walks at 8:15. You're going to be up at 8. The kids run at 8:15. The dog walks 9:15. Kids run at 8:15, 9:15. I'll let you enter the kids run too.
Once again, do the dog walk.
We don't. Yeah, we should. We should do the dog walk, right? So once again, let's just reiterate. When can you sign up? Can you sign up now? Okay.
You can sign up.
Get on the website.
Get on that website. Sign up right now. I tell you, our numbers are higher than any other year right now.
Excellent.
In the industry, the race industry is different, and you guys are talking about events. The events in running races, we're not back at 100% yet.
Okay. Well, we'll get there. That's for sure. When you're on this show,
you are. You're over our numbers.
Good. All right. Well, LiverpoolTurkeyTrot.com. Get on it, sign up today, and get ready to run. Scott Henry right there, president and race director of the Liverpool Turkey Trot. You do a great job, and so does your team. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for helping us promote this. LiverpoolTurkeyTrot.com. Central New York's premier turkey trot.
There he goes. Promoting all the way. Rob Kassler's up next. He's the owner of Charney's Menswear and Tuxedos, and I'll tell you about the shirt I just bought there.
There we go.
Coming up on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Well, you found the place to be, folks. You finally did it. It's Radio Gold right here on 570 WSYR.
Maybe they got lost, Tom.
At 106.9 FM. And you've got the local show with Tom and Steve. We are a local advertising agency that helps businesses grow. And Steve said a while back, about 3 years, almost 4 years now, he said, let's do a radio show because you had a little couple 30 years in that area. Let's do something and we'll promote local business because they don't get enough kudos.
And do you remember how excited you were about it, Tom?
And I said, absolutely not, Steve. I remember saying
actually, there was that, but there was the line that said, only if you want me to.
Yeah, right. Yes, there was that too.
I said, well, Tom, it is your world. It is your space. And I think expectations, at least mine, were exceeded by the reach that this thing had and what you did.
Yeah. Well, and you've turned out to be one heck of a radio host, which I think it was all self-serving. You wanted to be a star.
Oh my gosh. And, people know, they've heard before. I didn't want to be on the show.
Oh no, he laps this up like
I was like, Tom, this is you. This is your space. I'm not doing it alone. That's an exact quote. Oh, yeah. I'm not doing it alone. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay, so
right, but you just wanted me to not be, you wanted me to be alone, so you could go out and golf and have fun.
Now we're talking.
There we go. There was something else I was going to mention. Oh yeah, about the video, because everything's audio video these days, and we have a pretty robust what do you call it, YouTube channel. So get on YouTube, folks, and you can look up the show, and you can actually pull the curtain behind and follow us so that you get all sorts of content from Zoe Advertising, and then you smash the like button, and that helps us in the algorithm. And these local business people will get propagated throughout the internet, and we drive more business.
You said that well, Tom. Wow.
I watch a lot of videos.
Use the word propagate. That's a big word for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I watch a lot of stuff when I'm on the toilet.
So find us on YouTube, ZoeAdvertising.com.
Yep,
and you'll find it, and it's there.
All right. Right now, it's our pleasure to talk with Rob Kassler. He's the owner of Charney's Menswear and Tuxedos, charneysmenswear.com. How are you, Rob?
I'm great, thanks. And it's good to be here. It's good to be back. I really enjoy the show and the emphasis and the camaraderie that you guys put into this. It's really amazing.
Thank you. We love to have the shows for people like you. A local entrepreneur
and all
that. Yeah. And old and all that, too. Yes. Rob, let's get your background, because I don't know exactly where you came from and how you got into Charney's.
So, how I got into Charney's is a long but short story, a short version. Yes. It's always been a family-run business and family-owned business. The Charney family owned it for 60 years before I came along.
Okay.
And I came along kind of at a happenstance. I graduated from college with a medical degree, and I ended up...
medical degree?
I ended up not liking that field, and I ran into Sarah Charney, Melvin's wife, who was the third generation Charney owners. And after some conversation, he said to me, "Why don't you come and talk to me someday? Maybe there's a place for you."
Right.
And the rest is history. 33 years later,
wow.
I'm still there and still functioning and running the business as a family-run business. And
no kidding.
The 5 of us in the store have been there. All of us have been there for at least 20 years. The youngest is 20 years.
No kidding.
Employee. So it's truly a family-run business, and we. As our motto says, we care about you and your style. And we truly do. When someone comes in, it doesn't matter who they are and what looks they like. We'll find something for them in the store. And we have a tremendous variety of merchandise in the store.
You really do. And, I'm so far behind the times. I was looking for them in the mall. And I said to the wife, I go, hey, let's go over to Destiny. I need to get a tuck shirt. We'll go to Charney's over there. I'm like, wait a second. They're not here anymore.
When did you leave the mall?
Wow.
It's been a while.
It's been a long while. Close to 15 years.
Oh, my
God.
Well, Tom, I have a similar challenge. I still look for them up by Great Northern Mall in the plaza there.
Plaza.
Oh, yeah.
And many people still do. And they'll call us from the parking lot and say, we're in the parking lot. We cannot find the store.
Oh, God.
Well, you should be on the radio more and remind people where you are.
Right. Yes.
I'm just saying.
So let's explain where they are. For those of you who are, listening to the show all the time and watching the show, we talk about Smith's Restaurant Supply.
Yes.
Okay. And they're right in that same mall.
In the same plaza.
In the same plaza, right. Which is across from the steakhouse there. What is it? Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse and the Olive Garden. And,
all those.
We're right across the road in Empire Plaza, right in the center of the plaza.
That's what they call that.
And John Kupperman from Smith is our next guest.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Good.
So we will be talking with him.
Great.
Yeah, you have such a variety. So when I walked in the store, I just went recently, had an experience. Who's the guy with the gray hair? Nice, good-looking fellow, thin, slender, gray hair.
That's John. John came. I came in July. John came in May, 33 years ago.
Wow. So he helped me. He helped me find my tuck shirt. So he got me a tuck shirt.
They have something to fit you.
Yeah. They said,
we have something to fit almost anybody. I go from size small to 10X in the store.
That's incredible. So you can fit Steve. And then I was in the, they have a section called Fat and Stout. And that was, they don't really have
big boys. Big boys department, as well as a tall boys department for Steve.
Mine is tall and handsome.
Well, they found me a nice tuck shirt, and then I needed cufflinks and some buttons because
the
studs. Yeah. And actually, it was great because it had that feel that it was like. I don't want to use the word old-fashioned, but real customer service and customer focused. Yeah. So he said, well, I don't have a lot of the studs and cufflinks out here, but we just got some in the back. Come on, follow me. I'm like, you want us to go back there? And he brought me right into the back room and, opened up the boxes. And
that makes us tremendously different from most businesses. We talk to people and we want people to feel comfortable in the store. We want people to enjoy being in the store.
Right.
And that takes a little bit of conversation. You can go to any department store you want and be ignored. So
that's a good point. He treated me wonderfully, and he didn't even know I was a star at that point.
Wow.
I didn't.
Look at that. So when people find you or re-find you, what do they find?
Yeah, I often say, and I've said it since 1989 when I went to work here, we're the best kept secret in Central New York. When it comes to both traditional and contemporary menswear, we have anything you can imagine in that store.
And tons of Syracuse University paraphernalia.
And Syracuse University as well.
Well, Tom, 5-6 months ago, I bought a whole bunch of clothes there.
Did you really?
Because they fit me. I went in and I had too many choices. I never have too many choices when you're as tall and handsome as I am. So it was a good problem.
One of the first things I learned when I came to work for the Charneys was if you don't have it in the store, you can't sell it. And so we come from the idea that one more is not too many, to have enough of a selection to offer folks the right selection and a good selection, and I believe at a very good and competitive price.
How has the industry changed over the years in terms of the new technology and how clothes are made and where they're made? How have things changed?
Well, unfortunately, the majority of clothing is still made offshore, overseas. And that'll probably never come back.
Really?
We really go out of our way to find things made in America. And of course, when you do that, you automatically add 30% to the price point.
Isn't that sad?
And as soon as people come in, that's the first thing, many people, are price conscious today.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest change today following the pandemic is the way you get goods. I used to be able to sell a suit and replace it within 2 weeks. If I sell a suit or a shirt or a pair of jeans today, that 2 weeks has changed into 3 months.
Wow.
So you cannot, that's why you go into stores today, many shelves are empty from product because it takes so much longer today to get the products back in the store.
But I did notice you had a lot of stuff. You have a lot of inventory. What can people look forward to, consumers, as we get toward the holidays? You're going to have some big sales, some things that really motivate people to buy from you?
Well, again, we're as a family business, we're not predicated on sales per se. I mean, we do follow the calendar year, and people do look for holiday sales.
Sure.
So the Black Friday time frame, we always have a sale, buy one get one half price store wide for that weekend. And then going forward, we really have to see, because as I said, replacing the merchandise is no longer an easy thing to do.
Sure.
And unlike department stores, my merchandise is personally selected. Everything you see in that store, I have personally picked out and brought in and purchased.
Wonderful.
To offer for sale in the store.
So you picked out Tom's clothes.
That's right. Sure thing.
There we go, Tom.
That's Rob Kassler right there. He's the owner of Charney's Menswear and Tuxedos. Everyone up there, very experienced. Get up there, Erie Boulevard East, and right near John Kupperman's place.
Smith's Restaurant Supply, across from Texas Roadhouse, Tom.
Yeah, there you go. And John Kupperman is coming up next. So keep it right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tom and Steve and The Local Show. You found the last bastion of really good talk radio right here on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
If you do say so yourself.
Yeah, why not? Nobody else is going to do it. You get to that age where you start not having a filter, and you say, geez, I'm too old to be concerned about what other people think.
Amen. Right? How many times have you heard me say that?
Yes. You've been telling me that since I was 20.
Like my significance can't be based on my performance or what other people think about me.
Right. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Fear. They call it on YouTube. They call it FOPO. Fear of other people's opinions. You got to get over FOPO. Right.
I never heard that. But
that's a thing, I guess. Anyway, but folks, you're hanging out with us, and we do appreciate it. What we do is bring you all sorts of people that are around town in our Central New York area who are business owners, or they're managers of businesses, or they work in local business, and it's local because we felt that with the pandemic and everything, local businesses got a bum steer. So about 3 years ago or so, we thought we'll just interview all these people and get their backstories and how they got into business. It's very interesting.
And then there's this pandemic thing that rolled out.
Yeah, right. Which actually helped us, because then it made people listen to things.
It did. I think that,
and view things.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
But the show grew again.
Through the
hour, 2 hours, now 4 hours. It grew, and people wanted to hear local businesses and hear their stories and do business with them. So.
And you can pull the curtain way back and see what Steve and I look like and what our guests look like and some of their products and things. If you go to the YouTube channel, it's Zoe Advertising. And, Zoe is spelled Z-O-E-Y. A lot of times when I say Zoe into the phone, it just spells it Z-O-E.
Right.
So you gotta put the Y on there. Zoe Advertising. Look that up on YouTube. Like the page, follow the page, smash the like button.
And you'll get to see us maybe more often than you want.
Right, and it's fun. It really is cool when you watch it. Even I watch it and I go, wow, did I really look that way? And gosh, I am balding in the back. So all that. So let's talk with John Kupperman right now. He's the owner of Smith's Housewares and Restaurant Supply, smithsrestaurantsupply.com, if you want to follow along there. How are you, John?
Very fine, thanks.
Good. It's good to have you again. And in the spirit of local business and where you came from and all that, give us the quick cliff notes of how this business started and your role in it.
I'm the fifth generation. My great-great-grandfather was Hyman Smith. He was a itinerant peddler. He had a horse-drawn wagon and would go between Syracuse and Utica, Rome. and sell kitchenwares and crockery. And it's been in the family ever since.
Did he have a mule?
I don't know. Probably a horse. Well, you know, back then, that was a little bit before the canal.
Yeah.
So more than likely,
Before the
Could have had a
canal.
mule.
This was before the canal. Wow. That is
That's-
fabulous.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No.
Or during the canal.
Wait, 5 generations.
No,
Right
it
in
was
that
after
season.
the Civil War. So no, I've got my history right. Canal was 1825, Civil War 1865. It was a little bit after the Civil War.
And when did they fill it in and ruin downtown? Because I wish it'd be nice if it was still there.
Yeah.
I think it was the 60s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
know,
wonder why they did that.
because they wanted Erie Boulevard. They wanted commerce. We don't need that stinking canal. Let's put a road here.
Now in Rochester, it still flows.
You have-
The river
well, you have-
flows
that's
through
a-
it.
That's not the canal.
No, I know that, but it's some water.
Yeah. Well, there's little chunks of the canal that you can fish. I know a little about those, the different
Yeah.
canal segments, and people walk on it and
Right.
things like that. So when did it turn into a coffee roaster?
Well, that started about 35 years ago.
Okay.
It's a department within Smith's.
Okay.
And it was actually developed by my father, and he named it Hyman Smith Coffee after the founder of the company. Mm-hmm. And we've been roasting coffee for now just about 35 years.
No, that's a long time.
You were first, right?
We were the first gourmet independent roaster, because there were commercial roasters, including
Right.
Paul DeLima here
Sure.
locally. But we were the first people on the entire East Coast that was an independent gourmet roaster.
Now, do you sell to restaurants or just to consumers or both? Or
Almost exclusively to homeowners.
Okay.
Homeowners, offices. We do quite a bit with the food trucks now.
okay, yeah, right.
But predominantly it's homeowners.
Okay, and it's why is it a better coffee? Because you just get nuts about your
Yeah, he's a coffee
Yeah.
snob.
Yeah.
If you're,
Tell us about the
yeah, here we
beans.
go to coffee snobbery. Let's go.
I am guilty. But I'm not that way about much. But I am about the coffee. What goes into the coffee is, first of all, you have to buy the very best quality of the bean that's available. Mm-hmm. There's different grades. You got to buy the best. Second part is obviously the roasting, and we have techniques for roasting. We've been doing it for a long time. The other key part is freshness. You really want to consume the coffee within about 2 weeks after it's been roasted. Mm-hmm. After 2 weeks, it starts to stale. It doesn't become bad for you, but the flavor and the aroma really drops off.
So what are these?
Steve is sniffing
I'm
the
sniffing.
beans.
If you're watching on
Well,
the
that's
stream,
a green unroasted bean.
it looks like
Okay.
a pistachio, for goodness sakes.
Well, don't eat it.
Oh, okay. He knew.
Steve is picking up the beans and he's sniffing them. So,
There's
folks,
nothing to sniff there.
if he gets one of those beans up his nose and stuck, I'm not taking him to urgent care. Just
Okay,
so we're
so I
clear.
got a different. So are these different stages or different beans?
They are the same bean, different stages.
Okay.
You've got the green unroasted Colombian bean.
I'm got green beans.
Yes.
Green beans.
Yeah.
You've got a regular city roasted bean.
Okay.
Okay, Colombian.
Yeah.
And then a dark roasted, same bean, what we call French roast.
So when people do dark roast, they just take the same thing and cook it longer.
It's exactly what you do.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
And-
as
and
far
that's
as
my
goes.
favorite.
What does that do for caffeine? Because I need caffeine.
Caffeine, actually, the longer you roast it and the darker it becomes, the less caffeine there is in the bean.
Oh no!
So for those of you who thought if I get a dark roast coffee, I'm going to be really up all night,
They're
you're
wrong.
wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Yeah, it's a falsehood. Yeah.
So what's a cappuccino? What's the little
Espresso.
Espresso.
Well, now what happens there is that goes into the preparation. Even though the dark roasted coffee has less caffeine, when you prepare espresso, you're grinding it to a powder-like consistency. Instead of dripping water over it, you're pushing steam through it. So whatever caffeine's in there, you're going to get it through that extraction.
okay.
Okay, and that's why it's very concentrated because of the steam,
Right.
and the powder consistency of the grind. So it's a concentrated cup.
So if you just started listening, this is John Copperman, coffee snob from Smith's Restaurant Supply, talking fresh roasted coffee. Now you have a sale coming, right? That's
We
what,
sure do. Next,
Talk about it.
Tuesday and Wednesday, we take $5 off per pound. And our pounds are real pounds, 16 ounces, none of this
Right.
10-ounce, 12-ounce cheater stuff. So that means our coffees are going to sell for $11.95 to $12.95 a pound for the very best coffee you can get anywhere. Really,
It's wonderful. The
Anyway.
freshest.
Do you believe in it?
just a little.
Well, let's
If you can't tell. But if you think about it, $11.95 a pound is what you would pay at the grocery store for, frankly, crap.
right.
And you can come into the store next week and buy really the world's best coffees at an incredibly affordable price.
And you're located right on Erie Boulevard East, across from Texas Roadhouse in that Empire Plaza.
Yep.
And
right next to Charney's.
You're right next to Charney's.
We're in that plaza, but we're in the other building.
Yeah.
Right. So at the end,
Right.
of it,
Tan and
There's no way anybody could miss you if they get up there.
no,
unless they go downtown to the building
Well,
that says Smith's Restaurant.
yeah,
It's
that
like,
would be
don't go
bad.
there because they moved and they made a nice apartments out of that building, but don't go there.
Now, not only do you have the coffee, but you have all the materials to make pies to go with people's coffees.
We sure do.
So the holidays are coming and all that. Let's name some of the items. You got like 18,000.
Name them all.
God.
Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, right now.
Well,
start.
just the top ones.
Well, right now we're ready to go for all the baking needs you could
Okay.
possibly want.
Got ceramic pies, plates, tins, everything, right?
Yep, pie vents, shields, the whole thing. We've got everything you need for turkey roasting.
Oh, yes, right.
I'm ready to
Of
go
course,
for that.
Thermometers, good thermometers. Yeah.
We're ready for hunting season.
Okay.
Cutlery, meat grinders.
Get your knives sharpened?
Yep, we sharpen knives.
Okay, good.
You got
all that.
everything. We're really in good shape for the holiday season already.
Excellent.
I made sure that I walked in this morning and there was like 50 cartons sitting there.
That's wonderful.
I was like, yeah, we're ready.
Well, get up there. John Kupperman, boy, the segment goes by fast. We could talk to you forever. Thank you so much for what you and your team does. Owner of Smith's Housewares and Restaurant Supply right up there on Erie Boulevard East. Steve, get those beans away from your nose.
They smell good. I
do
can
not
actually-
want you snorting one of them in.
Okay. You'll help me if it happens. Right, Tom?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to Heimlich the bean out of your nose. All right. Hey, look, stick around. Hour number 2 is starting very soon. We'll have conversations with Stan Shane. He's the owner of Syracuse Dog Fence. And then we'll talk with Rob Murphy, store manager at Installations Unlimited. Robert Doherty stops by. We'll talk about your chimney. He is Mr. Chimney Man. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for some engaging interviews with Stan Shane, the owner of Syracuse Dog Fence, and then we'll talk with Rob Murphy, the store manager at Installations Unlimited. And then Robert Doherty talks to us about chimneys, because he is Mr. Chimney Man. We are broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Steve, are you all strapped in?
I am. The place is going to the dogs. Tom.
Yes, I heard that.
It is.
You have what seems to be a beagle.
A beautiful young beagle. That
Yes.
was last week. We had Humane CNY, or a week or two on here.
Yes,
we had them
we
on
did.
the show. Well, I'm holding one of their adoptees.
Yeah.
That Stanley from Syracuse Dog Fence has adopted, and
That is
and,
wonderful.
And I don't know that he's going to get this dog cash. I don't think he's going to get him back. So people on the YouTube stream, certainly you can see the beagle who's now
Yes.
sniffing the mic. That's not me breathing into the
Check
mic.
out and
look at that. She gave me a kiss, Tom.
Those videos are up and running today, right?
Yep,
of course.
Yep. Go there. Just go
Yes.
to the Zoe page, and you'll see the local show recordings.
Right, you
from
go to
the past,
YouTube, go to YouTube, and you can see the past ones and the current ones,
You
and
got
you can
it.
see Cash, the beagle, right there,
And Stan.
and Stan,
And Stan, the
Stan,
beagle
or
owner.
should I say, Santa Claus?
Yes, there is.
Yes, I'm getting into the spirit.
I can see that. Yeah, he calls that a hunting beard, but he never brings back any venison. What's the deal with that, Stan?
Well, 2 weeks ago I was up in Maine bear hunting. Didn't bring any bears back.
Okay.
Oh my
No bear,
goodness!
no
Look at you at your advanced age. You're out there hunting for bear.
Yes.
That's right.
You're a man's man.
Yeah, he does it from a truck. They didn't tell you that. No, he doesn't. No.
You're a regular Merle Haggard.
Something like that.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we're talking with Stan Shane. He is the owner of Syracuse Dog Fence, SyracuseDogFence.com. Stan, talk to us about your personal and professional background really quick. I'll give you 30 seconds to unpack who you are and how you got into this business.
Well, I don't have any background.
He was
fits
never
right in,
here.
doesn't Actually, I was doing engineering, construction like
Okay.
that, and decided I want to go into business for myself. And I had a chance to start installing electronic dog fences, invisible type fences.
Right, yeah.
And like that. And I started that up, and I did it for my own dog, and I turned it into a business, a company that I'm doing full time now with my wife.
Wonderful.
For how long?
For how long have you been doing that?
We're going to be going into our 23rd year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite some time.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So you're like the king of pet containment systems. Dogs are pretty important people, part of everyone's life. So, I think a lot of people want to figure out a way to keep their dogs safe and in the yard. And these fenceless systems are a pretty good way to do it, right? Even in the winter.
Absolutely. And we do it all winter long. Just people do not call us during the winter because they think, oh, it's cold, you can't do it.
Wow. Well, we can't have that.
We can get them in. What we do is we get across driveways and for snow plowing, and then we just stomp the wire down in the snow and flag it, and we get it going. Help you train the dog, and the dog stays in probably within a week.
So how does your pet containment system work? Explain the process from the time that you do the electronics portion of it as well as the training. How does it all work?
Okay, first thing is my installer, Jamie, who's been with me for 17 years. He's a long timer. He comes in, he meets the client, which I've already estimated the client. Usually online, we do estimates now. So if you call me up, you can estimate within 15 minutes. But he comes in, he goes over everything, he walks around with a client, and the client shows them where they want the wire to go, where they want the dogs to stay in, stay out of, and like that. Usually it's the road they want them to stay out of, which
right, of course,
is the whole idea of the thing. He lays out what flags where the owner wants it. Then he goes to work. He puts a transmitter inside the garage or an outbuilding so that it's protected from weather. He brings 2 wires out, and if you bring them out in the same trench, it cancels the signal. Then when you get to the boundary, you run the wire around the outside. We flag it. At that point, we start training the dog. We set the correction levels on the collar to very low levels, and we teach a dog where it's good and where it's bad. When the dog goes in and he feels a little tickle, like a flea biting him, and you pull him back, pretty soon the dog figures out, hey, if I don't go there,
right,
it doesn't start.
Right, yeah, okay.
Cash, my buddy here, we got him a week ago. He is fully trained to the fence now.
Wow.
We let him out.
No kid.
He goes out. This morning he was out at sunup.
So what about people saying that say, well, I've got a pit bull or a Rottweiler.
Right.
He's gonna, I know somebody had one of those fences and they don't work but the dogs are too tough.
Well, a lot of people say, I've got a beagle. And
yeah,
beagles follow their nose. You can't keep a beagle in.
That's right. And I own one. I know that. I've seen it.
Cash is number 7 of beagles that we've had.
Wow. Tom, we met Stan here a dozen years ago or so. And we were looking for a system to keep the dog. And I mean, everybody knows Invisible Fence because that's kind of the brand name. But there's different people that may have similar products, and we wanted somebody local and local company. So we called several of them. Stan came out and actually did the estimate, met Zoe, and I think that's the favorite thing I ever bought for the house. And I'm, me, right. Houses are laborious, right?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
We'd let the dog up. Dog would never leave the yard. Chase a rabbit right up to the edge. It kept Zoe safe and in the yard. And that it was amazing. And that's how we originally met way back.
Yeah,
and it was a neat thing. But
and I'm happy to say that I've known Stan since probably 2016, and we've had him on the radio show. Oh gosh, a good dozen times or so. And every time I say I'm going to have him out to the house, and I still haven't. Yeah. That's how good I am with follow up.
So are you going to put a pool in or get a Syracuse dog fence? Which one are you doing first?
Here's the thing: the winter is coming, and I think that I am not unique. That's one thing I found out. I'm not unique.
I don't know about that.
Well, I'm weird and quirky, but maybe not unique. I think that a lot of people look at the wintertime, right, and they have their pets, and they say, I don't want to go out there and put them on the leash, and the leash freezes, and it's tough, and, they go. And then if you don't have a fence, and fences sometimes de-beautify your property.
Right. I agree.
It closes you in and all that. So with the winter coming up, I think a lot of people might use this as an option, and they should talk to you because the dogs can run out into the snow, play around and all that, and they're still safe. And they come back in, and you don't have to go out with them.
That's right. They come right back in. And it meets the standards of, the safekeeping of a dog, that you're not tying them out during the winter.
Yeah, right.
That, especially if you let us put a dog door in for you. Then he can go
you
out
do that too?
Oh, we do that too.
Oh, I had no
Your dog
idea.
can go out in the yard through the dog door, then spend the time outside he wants to spend, and then come back through the dog door inside, get warm, have a drink.
We got to have you come
food.
up. We've got to have
No,
you.
and it was a difference. Now the price was less with Stan. I'll be honest.
Right.
Than the Invisible Fence at the time. That was the company we called, and maybe one other one. But it was really, I just liked the service. I liked that the training came with it.
Yep.
And you guys were like, we guarantee it. I'm like, what do you guarantee? The dog will stay in the yard. And I was a little leery.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are, right?
Yeah, everybody says, well, my dog is special. You know, it's this macho dog. He's just going to go through it. He's not going to obey the rules. If you teach him right, if you allow us to teach him right, teach you right, show you what to do, and you follow through, the dog will stay in the yard.
And for people who are skeptical or think that it's inhumane and all that, talk about the people that endorse your system, your pet containment system.
Most veterinarians in this area, I have probably 43 different
43
local vets.
Wow.
That either have my system or endorse me and say you get it. I've got
amazing.
one vet in Verona that will take in. I got his system set up. I did his son's house, his daughter's house for their dogs, and they're all for it. He recommends us above anybody else.
And what I do know as our segment time runs out, battery, they don't have to buy batteries.
Oh, right, yeah, because they're
with some of those
rechargeable
national
collars.
systems, they make all their money on selling the batteries. Rechargeable collars, and Tom, you can even run it off your phone with the app and stuff. It's very, very, very cool.
All right, well, let's call Shane. Shane.
Let's call him Shane.
How many times have I said that?
I don't. Just
Stan.
cash.
Thanks for coming, Shane.
Stan Shane, owner of Syracuse Dog Fence. Call now, folks. It's 415-5555.
And
correct?
that's your direct number, right?
That's my direct number.
Yeah, 415-5555, SyracuseDogFence.com. Go on the site. Get it done this year. Let's get things going before the holidays hit. And call now and get those estimates and get your dog taken care of. I'm saying this loud and clear so that when my wife hears the show, we know to do it as well.
There we go.
Okay. All right. That's Stan Shane. Rob Murphy's coming up next. He is the store manager at Installations Unlimited. Boy, have they changed over the years and got lots of stuff. We're going to talk with him coming up next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it and back at it again. Thank you for joining us on The Local Show. You found it. Tom and Steve from Zoe Advertising. I'm the creative director over here at Zoe Advertising, and Steve is the owner of Zoe Advertising, and he's owned a couple of ad agencies in his day, and I was in radio for a long time, and we kind of got together and thought, hey, let's serve local business and serve them well and help them, because, man, there's a lot of stuff out there these days, right, where people can go from your YouTubes to your Instagrams and your Snapchats.
It's all about people, right?
Yeah, connecting with people.
You know, and I was sharing this last week with someone. Every week we have people that reach out to us and we go, we're not a fit.
Right.
Because
It just might
if
not
we
be.
can't fit, we're not trying to sell stuff. There are certain people that are a fit.
Right.
And companies we can help. And other ones where we'll help point them in another direction, or maybe send them up to the Small Business Development Center.
Right,
But
of
they're
course,
early in the business.
Sure.
And because we don't want to just sell ads.
Yeah.
Because most of clients of Zoe have been clients for years and years and years.
That's right.
Because they're smart. It makes them money, and they
And we
dig
want to
in.
help people grow.
But,
And
you know, when I was able to drag you back into this joint, we were able to do something, I think, special in the local show.
Yeah, the local show has served our community pretty well, and the listeners, because I think they're really interested to know some of the background of these local businesses. And right now we're going to talk with Rob Murphy. He's the store manager of Installations Unlimited, Team IU. Team iu.com. Right?
Got it. That's it.
And they can go online and follow along with us. We're also on YouTube, and you can see Zoe Advertising on YouTube. Follow the page, smash the like button, and follow. We've got all sorts of content, and you will see what I'm saying right now, right there, and you'll see Rob, and you'll see Steve, and all that, and even me. So tell us about yourself, Rob. Where did you come from? What's your personal and professional background?
Oh, boy. Well, 16 years old, I was in my mother's driveway tearing apart my car. Right?
You were that guy?
I was that guy. I was breaking more things than I was fixing. But that's where the passion started. And luckily, my mother kind of saw that in me, that I was an automotive guy, and maybe books and schooling and stuff wasn't my thing. So she let me kind of run down that road.
What a gift. Because so many parents...
Yeah.
What a gift from your mom, because they said, well, no, you need to go to college for 12 years and be a doctor if you're smart. No. So she let you run with that.
Yeah.
She's a very smart woman. She was a reading specialist for the Cicero School District for over 30 years.
Wow.
My sister is the smart one. She's got her master's degree and all that, but no, I'm the car guy.
So what did you do when you got out of Hillbrook?
But it was, she allowed me to kind of pursue that. I went to some trade schools to kind of really get a better professional understanding of what people are doing to these cars. When I came back, I was kind of a sales guy. I worked for Advanced Auto Parts as an assistant manager, kind of getting my, I was still 19 years old or whatever. You think you know everything, but you don't know anything.
Of course, yeah.
And eventually I landed a job working as a sales guy for Installations Unlimited. And the first time I interviewed with them, they did not hire me, believe it or not. A few months later, I went back again and interviewed again, and they hired me. And I've been there 19 years and done a little bit of everything.
You don't hear that much anymore, where people stay that long. I guess the other big question is, who is Scott Eckler, and does anybody care?
Actually, everyone cares. He seems to know. He seems to know everybody in Syracuse. I can't go anywhere with him without him bumping into somebody he knows. But he is the owner. He's the original owner from day one, 1987.
Yeah.
And he's still involved in the business on a daily basis. His son, Sean, is, the vice president, and he's going to keep working his way up more and more.
That's awesome.
It's a family-run business, and it truly is every day. Sean, myself, Scott.
Yeah. Scott has a great passion. And I don't know if you remember the story from before, but when Scott used to work at GP Communications, they, in 1984, had a sound off. And it was over off of Taft Road, right where the DMV is now.
Sure, yes.
Okay. So they had the whole parking lot filled with hundreds and hundreds of cars. And that was just at the beginning of the big sound and everything.
Right.
And of course, I was a DJ. I was going up to SU, and I had all this equipment. And I got this wacky idea of taking what I used on mobile DJ gigs and putting it into my van. So I had 4 15-inch speakers with horns and a couple of Sherwood amps, and I rolled in there, and I remember Scott looking in the truck and going, what the, and an expletive is this? And I ended up winning the sound off in 1984. I still got the plaque down in the basement somewhere.
And the hearing aids to put it.
Right. But Scott was wonderfully enthusiastic back then, and then, of course, it makes sense what he did with the installations.
Sure. He started doing turning the wrench. He was out back in the shop. His stories he tells me from GP, and then when he started his company, him and his old partner would walk into Radio Shack and other retailers and say, hey, you sell this stuff, but who's installing it for him?
Right.
And he would get that customer to come to him, and he would put it in, and that's how he started. So when we're doing something out back in the shop, and we say, hey, it can't be done, he goes, no, it can be done. We got to figure it out.
And so Tom, you may or may not, was working at Radio Shack.
I was in high school. Yeah,
and
sure.
then Steve was at Service Merchandise.
I love that store. Yeah.
From 79 to 82, selling cameras and, stereos and things. And I learned some things about that. Cameras were certainly my passion, but it was like, who's installed? That is a great question. And the answer is, to this day, you guys.
Sure, yes.
Right.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on it. We have a really good install staff. We run 6 guys. We're looking for a 7th right now on the car side, and we have 6 guys on the home side of our company. So obviously we do commercial and residential installation on homes, televisions.
Who are you looking for? Tell us about that right now.
Well, we constantly look, right? So right now our biggest thing for our 12-volt side is winter products, right? Remote car starters.
Okay,
so I'm always looking for a good remote car start tech, car audio tech. I'm even looking for a suspension tech. We do a lot of lift kits, wheels, tires. That's a full year service that we offer. And we like to kind of shift and move guys that we have now and cross-train them into something else. So if I'm training somebody that's a lift kit guy on remote car starters, well, now I need someone to do lift kits.
Let me ask you a tough question, maybe.
Yeah.
Why should they work for you?
Because we do fun stuff.
Tell me more.
Family owned and operated, first thing, right? We pay very well. That's the second thing. We offer, as of right now, just Monday through Friday, no weekends, 8 to 6, set schedule. We're very flexible when it comes to asking for time off, travel, vacation, things of that nature. We're extremely flexible. We offer 401k that we give 4% if you match 4%.
wow.
So we match up to 4%. We have benefits. We have health, dental, vision insurance available as well.
So this isn't like this isn't a chop shop or something. This
you're not just a grease monkey.
This is the real deal.
We try. Yes.
19 years?
Nice.
I've been there 19 years.
Yeah. So back when Scott first started, what was the primary focus of the business back in the early 90s and late 80s?
Well, I wasn't there, so I can't give you the exact information.
Right.
But he was taking people's passion for their automobile to make it unique, and he would take a small idea from them and run with it to create, if it's an image, if it's electronics, whatever it is, to give the customer what they feel that they're missing.
Maybe it was more sound and stuff like that. Yeah. Maybe some lighting and things. But it's developed into much more because you guys do stuff in the parade of homes, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that aspect.
So Parade of Homes, Sean heads up that department, and that is working with home builders. And the Parade of Homes is where you show off what you can do. Yeah. And we try to make it easy, right? So if someone's building a house or moving into a house, we offer solutions for televisions, for surround sound, for just whole house audio, so we can have music in any room. And it all works off of your smartphone.
Right,
so we make
nowadays,
it super easy. And we have packages that are, really simple, or we can build you a theater room, and we can do a live movie theater in your basement or wherever you want to build it.
So Parade of Homes, Tom, just a reminder, again, this weekend, I'm holding a ticket here. So it's the 13th through the 23rd, so it runs so people can go out there and see.
Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot. Are you in all the homes up there, or a couple? Do you know?
I believe we're on 5. I'm not 100%.
Oh, wow, that's a lot. There's only 7.
Yeah,
so.
they were 5 out of 7. Yep. This year, we didn't build anything too extravagant because of the time crunch. All the builders were scrambling to get it done. So
we had Mary Thompson on, and she was telling us that that's always an issue. All right, look, do you mind sticking around?
No, we're good.
We'll keep talking. You got so many other things to talk about. We've been talking with Rob Murphy, and he's the store manager at Installations Unlimited. Like he said, it is a family-owned business, and they have unique product offerings and unique services. And we're going to learn more about that as we head into the holidays. Of course, you might want to get up there. TeamIU.com. Stick around. Local show continues with Rob Murphy next on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. You found The Local Show with Tom and Steve from Zoe Advertising right here on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM, and of course on all your digital devices. Do check us out on YouTube. Look up Zoe, Zoey Advertising on YouTube. Smash the like button. Follow, and you'll get content from Zoe Advertising, including this show, and you'll be able to pull the curtain back and see what we all look like.
Tom, on the YouTube channel, we changed the smash and like button to your face.
So people can smash my face.
And it's been the frequency is increasing.
Good.
Way more people are smashing that. I don't know why.
Any way to get the thumbs up would be fine.
Whatever you got to do, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
You got to do it. We've been talking with Rob Murphy. He's the store manager at Installations Unlimited right up there. You only have the one place, right?
Yes, one location, North Syracuse, right.
Yeah, and that's been up there for quite a while.
You say South Bay or Route 11, or just say yes?
We use Route 11, but yes, we're on both sides. Exactly.
Yeah. And during all the seasons, actually, I see boats out in the back. I see really hot-looking trucks. I see really cool-looking cars, like show cars. So you've got all that going on. What happens at this time of year? What do you change over? Do you change over to things?
Well, we sell fun all summer, right?
Excellent. Yeah. And well, that's a good way to put it.
We sell convenience all winter.
Okay.
So remote car starters are our number one selling product pretty much from here through the holiday time,
right.
Which obviously starts your car.
Do you have any problem getting remote car starters? Is there any supply chain boggles?
1 to 2 years ago, it was tight, but I do purchasing for remote car. We buy 6 months, 8 months in advance. So
excellent.
If I was running low, we doubled up.
That's where I got mine, Tom.
So, did you?
Yeah, that's where I got mine.
Good, yeah. Yeah, because God forbid you have any extra exercise by turning a key or anything.
It's okay. But I like it.
But look, folks, this is great great news. Talk to Rob. Get up there to Installations Unlimited. Order your car starter now and for your loved ones, right? Because that's a great gift.
What a gift.
So we make it super easy. On teamiu.com, we have a remote start lookup guide. And it makes it so easy for a consumer to pick out what one's going to work best for them.
Yeah.
So you put in the year, make, model of the vehicle, you tell if it's automatic or manual transmission. Then it gives you options if your car is a key start or a push button start. Most of these newer cars are now push button start.
Right.
And then it breaks down, do you want to start it from your factory remote, a small remote with a 1,500 foot range, goes up to a 3,000 foot range. And then we even have your smartphone where you can start your car virtually anywhere from your smartphone. Ooh. So if you're at the Dome a lot, you're at Destiny a lot, if you work in an office building like this, you can't see your vehicle, you can take out the phone, push remote start. It'll give you a check mark, the car started. It'll tell you how warm it is inside your car. It'll tell you if your car doors are locked or unlocked. Gives you a lot of information, and it's pretty sweet.
And we were talking about moving inside. We were talking just before the break here about you being in the parade of homes and making home theater systems, as well as putting just sound, I guess, throughout people's houses.
Yes.
And now with wireless and Bluetooth, that's kind of cool because you don't even have to drill into walls much anymore if you don't want to, right?
We do more on the custom side, so we are drilling into ceilings and walls to mount the speakers versus setting a Bluetooth speaker on a table somewhere.
Gotcha.
We do have devices that do both that will work with a surround sound system for a movie, but you also could stream music to it wirelessly.
Yeah. And we were chatting between sets. Snow tires. I didn't see that coming.
What,
Snow tires?
Tell us about your tire business. I guess back to cars.
Yeah, back to cars.
Yeah, give us a list of all the stuff because I was surprised.
The list, right? Napoleon grills, snow tires, WeatherTech floor liners, WeatherTech mud flaps, tonneau covers, bed liners, running boards, window tint, remote car starters, seat heaters, lift kits, lowering kits.
That WeatherTech stuff is outstanding, by the way.
WeatherTech is outstanding, yes.
Yeah, they have a lot of great
vehicle specific, every color you can imagine.
Car mats are awful.
Yeah,
like
around here,
now, and you know,
they're
in
just
my
thinking awful.
In my truck, I had accumulated a bunch of Ford points. So unfortunately, I didn't go to their place, but I got up at my Ford dealership. They put in all the WeatherTech when I got the truck.
Sure, yeah.
And it's incredible. I don't slip. It doesn't slip out of the vehicle.
Mine are like Ford Co. second degree. They're awful. They move. There's a little clip. It's supposed to hold.
We got to get you into them because once you have them, you'll never go back.
Yeah, you really need WeatherTech.
Mine are to the floor. It only fits your Explorer. They pick up as a tray. You dump them out. You spray them off with a hose
Tom,
or whatever.
Can you give me that for Christmas?
That's it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
Well, you call me, I'll get you a set, no problem.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. So when people go into Installations Unlimited right there off of Route 11 or South Bay, either way, and they look, and their eyes get big and wide, what are the cool things they're going to see for this, in 2022? What are your hot products? What are your hot
2022,
movers?
2023, because of COVID, no one has really gave out a creative new product, but they've all made changes and upgraded the products that they've already had.
Okay.
We go back to remote car starters, right? So the newest thing, the coolest thing is that, let's say your Explorer doesn't have automatic unlock. So the newer cars now, they sense your key as you walk up to it. The car will unlock, or you grab the handle, unlocks.
Yes.
I can provide that on any car that doesn't have that feature.
Wow,
factory.
so legacy cars, older cars.
Well, I mean, anything that's 2 or 3 years old might not have it, right? So if you have a Ford Explorer and you want to walk up to the car and have it unlock, I provide that feature for you. So it senses your keychain. You walk within 5 feet, car unlocks.
Yeah.
And I can have it unlock just a driver's door or the whole car. For safety reasons, maybe just a driver's door, but you can do the whole car.
Am I the only one that ever loses their car? Anybody?
Yeah, right, yeah.
I'm like, beep, beep.
Do you make keys for people? Can you?
We don't make keys.
Okay, you can't do that.
No.
You can't order any keys or anything.
Unfortunately not. No keys.
All right. Well, so you're not the key master.
No. Right. But going back to what's new and exciting, I mean,
What's up?
televisions keep updating, so the pictures of televisions are phenomenal.
Right.
Prices keep coming down, be more and more affordable, and they get bigger and bigger.
Why should I get a TV from you rather than one of the big box
shop
stores?
local, right? So you're supporting local.
Okay, gotcha.
We offer all the Samsung models at Best Buy or Walmart or anybody can carry.
Yeah.
And Sean, our vice president, but he's also our TV sale guy, is knowledgeable. He's going to steer you in the right direction. He wants to earn your business for everything else you need. So
you don't overbuy and you don't underbuy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's going to talk to you, figure out where it's going, how far away you sit from it. Is it your main TV, your bedroom TV? Is this your theater room? Whatever you're using the TV for, he's going to direct you in the right path.
How about do people still buy speakers like a regular sound system for the house?
We talk about that all the time because we miss it, but rarely do we sell a 2-channel stereo setup.
Right. Remember the
Isn't
days?
that funny? Yeah, that's wild.
It seems like life's too busy. Not a lot of people are sitting down and closing their eyes and listening to music, but we sell a lot of really good speakers that maybe aren't for 2-channel stereo, but we can mount them in your ceiling, in your bathroom, in your kitchen, in your whatever.
Yeah.
And you can walk through the whole house, and as you said, for Bluetooth and stream music, your phone connects to your house. You can use Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, whatever you want. You can stream iHeartRadio or whatever you guys on the radio and listen to in any room of the house. So,
and we do encourage that.
Yes, we do.
How about ear pods or headphones and stuff like that? Can
tough market for us. No.
Yeah, no.
We don't get into
But
that.
it's interesting. You say no. And I think it takes a lot of integrity to say no.
Yeah,
You know what?
that's
We
right.
don't do this. This isn't our space. We do this out with passion. In between the set, you were getting all excited about some show you went to and you learned some more stuff. We do what we do, but we don't pretend in areas we're not specialists.
We do a lot of stuff as we just went down that list, right?
Sure.
So I have to be good at all of those things.
Yeah.
I try to be great, but I ain't, I'm good. If I'm not good, I don't want to go down that road because I'm not going to offer a good service to the customer.
How about lighting? Ambient lighting or ambient lighting has become more popular.
Oh, yeah.
Colored lighting. So tell me about that.
Well, it depends on which field or side of the company. Cars, we do starry headliners. So if you look up in a car, we can make it look like a star show in a car.
I hate those things.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is wrong? I'm sorry, that's me.
In the car, we do accent lighting underneath the dash.
That's cool.
We do bright lights for the headlights so you can see at night when the bad weather's coming. We do LED and HID lights.
Right.
On the home side, we do full accent lighting inside, outside,
Wow,
under
that's
the
really
couch,
cool.
under the counters.
You sell all that. Now, can it be user serviceable or does it have to be installed?
Generally installed.
Okay.
Yeah, they do make some, over-the-counter stuff. It's generally a little different.
But that's
caliber.
the expertise, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
it goes, how it's powered.
And that would be called lightscaping, right? You could lightscape your
Some people
home.
you refer that to lightscape for more of their landscape,
okay,
that thing.
yeah.
But it's uplighting for the house outside. Very
Yeah, I
similar.
like that.
We are now offering lighting on like the eaves of the house, so we have a house we did. It's full LED, so this guy can take his phone and he can tell with his house so he wants purple accents or blue,
love
green
it.
or blue, and it's wild.
Excellent.
Wild.
Well, that's all. You're able to get all of that at Installations Unlimited. Rob Murphy is the store manager. You can tell by the interview we just had, he's very approachable, very knowledgeable, been there 19 years, and it's family operated. So enjoy yourselves. Go up there, ask all sorts of questions, okay? Great. Well, Rob, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. We'll come up for our free products.
We got to go, Tom. Let's go check it out.
All right. All right. Coming up next, I don't know who we have. Yeah, Robert Doherty. That's it.
There it is.
Robert Doherty is the Chimney Man, Mr. Chimney Man, next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it again. Welcome to The Local Show. Thank you for spending some quality weekend time with us. That's Steve and I from Zoe Advertising. We bring you this little golden nugget of the weekend called The Local Show. And we've had a lot of people support The Local Show, especially, of course, local businesses, as well as consumers. Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts is one of them. And if you haven't heard about what they do, Steve's going to enhance that a little more and give you a scoop.
Earlier this week, Tom, they dropped off a dozen donuts.
Yeah, so we have to be nice to them anyway.
I know that. So they were out and they said, we just want to say thank you, which was nice.
Very nice.
We've been partnered up with them for about 10 years and really watched them grow in the thousands of families that have attended the How to Protect Your Home and Life Savings workshops and people that they've been helping. If you haven't made your plan, if you haven't updated your will, if you don't have a trust to protect your home and life savings, what I learned over the years is trusts aren't for just rich people.
Right.
Trusts are for if you have a house and you want to keep it and you don't want to give it to the nursing home, put it in a trust. But they will answer your questions. They'll walk you through it, and they're amazing. So if you haven't done it, jot this number down, 370-9977, 370-9977. Give them a call.
Yes.
And talk to them. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com if you just want to go on the website.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. It's our pleasure right now to introduce David Doherty. He is the owner and operator of Mr. Chimney Man. How you doing there?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on here, guys.
And thank you for being here. I've heard you a couple of times talking to our friends Steve Kanzadian and Sal Shuga and stuff like that. So they speak very highly of you. So you must be good.
I was listening to their show for 15 or so years before I even called Sal and said, I don't hear you guys talk about fireplaces, and he called me and said, when you want to be on, and we met for breakfast. And
that's great.
Been a great relationship.
Sal is always good for a good breakfast. We ought to do that, Steve. We ought to get together with Salvatore.
I like that idea.
Yeah, when he's up from Florida. Look, what's your past and professional and background, and are you a Syracuse native?
Always a Syracuse native. I'm one of 8 kids.
8.
Father was a local PGA, still is a local PGA pro, although he's retired.
No.
And in a nursing home. 7 boys, 1 girl.
Wow.
And so we all learned very quickly to fend for ourselves. And so, right out of high school, I got a couple odd jobs. Actually, I was selling cars. And an opportunity came along to work for a local chimney company that's still in business to this day, and we're great friends. Good. And I worked for 1 year and realized that I could have my own niche, and 32 years later,
my goodness,
still doing it.
What side of town did you grow up on?
I actually grew up in Phoenix, New York area, but then through a parental separation, we ended up all over the place. So now I'm in a little village of South Onondaga, New York, where Onondaga Central High School is, and I work right out of my home. I married a wonderful woman there 35 years and 1 week ago.
Excellent.
Who we still live right there in the village.
Yeah, this is where Tom now talks about that he was from the Valley.
I'm from the Valley.
And you're going to talk about Green Hills.
Green Hills Farm.
And I'm just going to back away and let you guys go ahead, Tom. I'll wait. Okay.
I've taken that Route 80 corridor right up and through and gone right over near South O and all that. So, yeah, very familiar with your area over there. Well, we won't labor that, right? We won't talk too much. The listener
said amen.
So tell us about your business. Is it that you walk around looking like Dick Van Dyke and hopping from chimney to chimney with a
that's not the way it is now. Actually, it was that way shortly in the 70s. I was not part of that. There were a couple of guys who did the top hat and tails things, but now it's very professional and clean. A lot of chimney sweeping and inspecting is actually done from inside the home. Mine in particular, with my old age and such, I've needed to make sure I get the right equipment to do everything from the inside of the home. My particular niche is more about education. So I do sweeping, inspecting, and education. So if somebody buys a new home that has some kind of a fireplace and they don't really know exactly what it is, I'm the guy that comes in and looks at it, cleans it if it needs to, or services it, and then basically sits there and educates them on everything regarding what's safe and unsafe, what's inefficient and efficient, what to do, what not to do, what their upgrade possibilities could be if they wished. And I even talk about an extremely efficient wood burning method called the upside down fire.
What is a pointing a chimney? Or somebody said, what is that all about? I was here saying, well, it's got to be pointed. I don't even know what that
everybody
means.
says every chimney needs to be pointed.
What does that mean?
It's just replacing mortar between bricks where mortar has fallen out that was previously there.
I'm surprised you knew anything about construction.
I don't. Well, you clearly, that's why I don't know anything.
So there are masonry things like pointing that I still do some minor jobs. Mm-hmm. The very top surface of a chimney is called a crown, and we do some either resurfacing or sealing. We do chimney caps. But I'm getting away from the ladder work, so I'm more the interior guy. I like to say that interior usability, safety, efficiency is one thing, and exterior cosmetic and structural integrity is another, and they usually have nothing to do with each other.
How have chimneys changed throughout the years? So if we're looking at a house that was, say, had a fireplace put in the 70s or the 60s, and now you look at something in the parade of homes with a new fireplace. Mm-hmm. What will we see different in the chimney?
So since we got off the Mayflower, actually, chimneys were all brick by brick built, and a lot of times they were centrally located, and there were multiple fireplaces all feeding into one big central chimney. There's actually quite a few of those homes in the Cazenovia, Pompey, Fabius area that are from the late 1700s. There was evolution right around 1900. There became new fireboxes that gave a little more heat. Liners, clay flue liners came out in about 1900, from what I hear, right here in Syracuse. Mm. And then sadly, there was very little or no evolution in the fireplace building all the way through the 50s and 60s and 70s. And then that first oil crisis we had in the 70s brought out all kinds of nasty, inefficient wood stoves, which are still all out there. So I like to say the best thing about those old 70s stoves is they'll never die, and the worst thing about them is they'll never die.
Yeah.
Very inefficient. So
okay.
And now all wood stoves now sold in the retail market have to be EPA certified to be efficient. They're doing a great job with efficiency. A lot of gas fireplaces. Very few masonry open fireplaces are being made. A lot of wood-burning fireplaces are actually factory fireplaces, but then they're finished off with stone or brick or block to look like that.
Sure. What causes chimney fires?
Chimney fires are caused by creosote buildup within a chimney that then gets ignited. And so creosote is the byproduct of inefficient wood combustion is carbon and tars that are sent up a chimney, and as they cool, condensation forms. Condensation grabs those particles and builds up a deposit. Open fireplaces mostly have ash and soot and not creosote. There's a lot of different types and styles of deposits, the worst being tar creosote.
So how does someone prevent a chimney fire?
As far as I'm concerned, not necessarily by sweeping a chimney, but by not making creosote, number one, and then by not igniting it. So when I go into a house and I see a really nasty kind of deposit, I no longer sweep that chimney and walk away because they're just going to make it again. I educate them on why they made it, how they made it, how not to make it again, and how not to ignite it.
Right. Really quickly, should you only burn wood? Should you never burn anything else?
I tell people every day, no newspaper, no cardboard, no mail, no other wrapping paper, no garbage ever. Get rid of that stuff somewhere else. Use the store-bought fire starters. No flare-ups, no bonfires. If it's an open fireplace, keep it reasonable. And on my website, there's a little 3-minute lesson on what's called the upside-down fire, which is, believe it or not, a method of building a wood fire that doesn't smoke. Very little, if not any smoke.
Good job. Well, that's David Doherty. We're going to have you on again because you have a lot to say, and I think we could talk for a while. David Doherty, owner and operator of Mr. Chimney Man. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right. That's going to wrap up the local show. Steve, you can go off and polish your pumpkins and all that stuff.
Whatever you say.
On behalf of the local show and Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Get some physical activity today and every day. Eat well and stay focused on healthy living. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1 and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. And until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, and streaming everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.